It seems, and frankly it was, a long time ago that as a professional rugby league player, I found myself in the same situation, preparing for a career transition at the age of 32. I would have loved to have played forever, but unfortunately you have a shelf life when you're playing professional sport. And while I suppose a select few get to work in the media, the majority need to think ahead and have a plan in place to make the change as easy as possible. I've seen many examples of former teammates who haven't made these plans and the impact that it's had on them, their futures, their families, some of which are still felt to this day. I urge everyone to have a plan B in case the unforeseen happens. And if you're in a role that eventually will require transition, put the plans in place now. I'm the youngest of 4 children, with my dad was a school principal. Education was very important for my dad and he pushed us all hard to get university degrees. For me, that was getting a degree in business management while I was having a crack at playing footy in Brisbane. At one point in time, my dad had the youngest neurosurgeon in Australia with my older brother and had me as a professional footy player. You couldn't actually get different perspectives from a neurosurgeon to a footy player. I know I was a favourite, but still I know that, Mum and Dad. The year I graduated from uni, I was offered a contract at St George Dragons for the grand sum of $10,000. I thought I'd made it and would never need to have to worry about work again. Moving to Sydney, I quickly learnt how far or not far that $10,000 went. I needed to get a full-time job, and I got one doing marketing for a credit union while I was still chasing my professional sporting dream. I was one of the lucky ones. I went on to play for 12 years at the Dragons, and I worked for that credit union for 9 out of those 12 years. What a lot of people actually don't realise is that the average career of a professional rugby league player is about 2 years. So whilst you see the ones that are in the game all the time, many come in and out of the game. That's why it's really important that you do have a plan B if you're in the NRL. When I finished my career in 1999, I had a lot going for me. I had a pretty good public profile. I built my off-field career by working 9 out of the 12 years, but I did still find it very hard to transition. My family also found it very hard. I missed putting on my playing kit. I missed running out in front of a packed stadium. I missed the high of winning. I even missed the lows of losing. Weirdly, I even missed waking up sore in the morning after a game. I felt lost. I didn't know who I was. What was I going to do next? What was my identity now? It was a pretty tough period. The turning point for me was not long after I retired, and I sort of look at that as a real pivotal moment in my life. I had a number of real estate agents just out of the blue ask me to speak at a conference for them, just around leadership and what I'd learnt from my sport. What it sort of forced me to do was actually sit down and think about the lessons that I'd learnt in my sporting career, and also drawing on a bit of the work that I'd done, while I was still working with that credit union. And I sort of wrote down a list of the life lessons that I felt had moulded me into the person that I was at that point at the age of 32. That included things like a strong work ethic, the ability to overcome adversity, being a good teammate, having a strong discipline, having fun, and giving back to the community. I would imagine they'd be all things that you'll be sitting there today as firefighters thinking that, hey, I've got the same skill set as well. Going through that process really helped me recognise that footy was what I did, but wasn't who I am. I'll repeat that because I think to me that was the one learning that I took out during my transition. Footy is what I did, it's not who I am. My identity is me. No matter what I do or where I go, here I am. So it's with that experience in mind that I'm excited to share the next phase of EML's work with you today. Understanding what families might need is the next critical element in our model to help people get their lives back. The work already undertaken by Fire and Rescue to support its employees has been industry leading. We are honoured to be able to supplement and lead new ideas which will ultimately support your workforce, you as individuals and your families.